Several weeks ago, we brought together our artists.
I'm Louis Weaver, and I'm...
I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but these three teeth right here are fake. My name is Clay.
So Brother Booger comes up to lead us in a word of prayer.
Brother Booger can pick a prayer.
That's right.
To ask questions.
Are we rolling?
I am older than anybody else.
Is this what Christian music has come to?
To talk about shoes.
We actually had the same shoes on.
Well, mine are brown.
Very nice.
Upcoming albums.
It's kind of a mixture of
fiddle and mandolin and accordion and
with a 70s flair.
Pop elements,
It's not an acoustic record. It's Sean Colvin-esque.
R&B elements,
Kind of on the acoustic.
some rock elements,
I think it's more
hip-hop definitely,
country politically correct. I hate to use the word organic because it's used a lot.
some rap elements,
no yodeling. I was restricted.
a lot of different elements coming together.
Same old, same old. Only happier, I think.
A Happy Rich record.
Wow.
Well, we were happy with the success of the first album, so it's exactly the same as the first, just with different words.
Can I go to the bathroom?
That's the cue. That's it.
About life.
I try to keep myself in a place where I have God's life pouring in my life in all different ways.
The most important thing is to be a great father and a great husband.
Because my wife is a single parent. I mean, a lot of the time.
That's the hardest part. I mean, people ask, well, how do you do this, go on the road? You know, it's so hard. It's like, that's not hard. You should see what she has to do at home.
That's right.
It's 3 kids by herself. That's the hard part. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
And not just any music. Music that matters. Music you can believe in. Here's what happens at a reunion of reunion artists.
When I think about last year, having a normal day job, driving a truck, delivering packages for Federal Express, just dreaming about doing this for a living, dreaming about singing and sharing for people and traveling around, making albums and videos and things. I didn't know if I'd ever get to do it. I thought it would just be a hobby for me. But now that I'm doing it, it's amazing, and I don't take it lightly. And it is a struggle. Like Michael said, with the videos and the glamour side of what we do, to appear and remain real to the people out there.
The biggest conflict that I find in my musical life is to balance my family life with the musical life. I have a constant struggle to balance what we do as a career with our time at home and actually modeling being a good father and a good parent and being there and not missing my kids' childhood. The only accountability in the mainstream is to the accountants. I mean, there's no higher authority. The one thing that I've found so refreshing from day one is the integrity in this business. Even though it is a business, there's still a much higher level of integrity and accountability. All being accountable to the ultimate higher authority makes even the business side of this more palatable.
I'm Max, and I'm with these guys, and this is Nate.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Carlton. And I'm Jason, and together we make Church of Rhythm. We've been signed to Reunion about 6 months now, so we're kind of the new people around here, and our album will be out in May, we think, we hope. So that's about it.
Notice he avoided saying New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I stayed away from it.
By your lyrics, Gary. I mean, all the time, every time I listen to them, and I want to know just what inspires you. I think everything's inspiring. It doesn't all make me write a song, but I think once you choose to be a writer and you realize that, you know, your gift is to soak in life and then let it out in little segments, everything's inspiring to me. And it's the weirdest stuff sometimes. I mean, you know,
I think those
every now and then they just kind of woo.
Those are always the ones. Those are all, I think, all our favorites. The people who write, you know, the ones that it just happen. It's almost like you feel guilty for taking credit for it.
Exactly.
Because it happens so fast.
I'm going to take credit. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel some guilt.
Did you get any sleep?
Did you get any sleep? Because when I was there, there was none to be had.
I got a little in sporadic bursts. There was a big piece, you know, the foam you use to create vocal boosts and stuff. Excellent as a mattress.
Brown fell asleep while he was trying to see if I was playing anywhere near time. So I'm playing away and I look over and he's like...
Think about him. Everybody tells stories about him. He'll be out on the ground putting down a keyboard track or something. He's out. There's snoring involved. So you just go ahead without him, and then when you're just about done, you say, okay, well, that's it. I think we got it. And from the floor comes just that one bar after the second chorus. You know, he's there. He can do it. He's great.
I'm such a rebel that I'm more tempted to be imperfect very blatantly, and so that's whoops. It's not possible for me to be perfect. I think I figured that out when I was like 10 years old. So I have made a career out of being imperfect to the 10th power.
What is it like to have a baby in the middle of making an album?
And going into labor in the studio was great. Well, I didn't have anything else to do. My husband kept saying, don't you want to go lay down? And I thought, well, I don't want to sit around and wait to go into labor. It's like watching a clock. You'll never go. So I went and sang with Gary instead, and I don't know, something about being in the studio with Gary.
Oh, really?
I want to know why Rich always talks about quitting music and teaching.
You know, I don't. Other people talk about that about me, but it's not...
You said, no, you have said that.
Well, I am planning on teaching. I mean, I used to think I wasn't. See, I thought when I went back to school...
You mentioned that at one point that you were thinking, and I just think...
When I went back to school, I thought, there's no way you can be a full-time student and do this.
Teaching is a deeper desire for you than if you had to choose between the two? You think you'd choose?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew. I know my deepest desire right now is to graduate in May. I mean, that's probably... And I'm a little nervous because of my algebra class. Because I have to get a D. And I'm working really hard, and I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't understand logic.
Oh,
Logic makes no sense.
I know.
In a class where there are real answers to the questions on the test. I hate that.
I think for us, the tug has kind of been between, you know, how are we going to reach the body as well as be accessible and legitimate to a non-Christian audience as well.
Excellence in music, you know, the quality of the music is going to draw the non-believers by the music, but your lyrics, you know, just excellence in every area. And being real.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Authenticity and honesty will ring true wherever you play, to whoever you're playing to.
I know I'm not here to pretend to be something I'm not or have it all together, but to share the struggles that I go through and the grace that God can give us, you know, in the midst of our struggles.
They don't use instruments.
I'm always blown away when I hear Wes King play the guitar, and never realized he was so incredible. I'm serious, and I want to know what you grew up listening to, and where you got all these licks, and who's your mentor guitar-wise. Obviously, you're playing acoustic, but it doesn't matter. So.
Well, I grew up on Christian music. I mean, I grew up listening to. I mean, I'm not that much younger than you, but I grew up listening to you and Gary and Amy and Rich, and there was a guy named Pat Terry. I'm sure you guys remember Pat Terry, but he was a real good guitar player. But his guitar player was even better, and his name was Sonny Lauderstadt. I can't say his name very well, but he played acoustic guitar, and he used to be at a Bible study that I went to in Atlanta every week, Metro Bible Study. And I just sit real close and watch him, and I'd listen to Pat Terry records, and I'd go, I mean, every Tuesday, Sonny, how do you play that one lick? And he'd get his guitar out and show me, and so he was a big hero. And the cool thing, he played on my last record. He did some stuff on it, so that was a neat thing for me.
Like Gary said earlier, I have people around me that are brutally honest, and invite into my life that if I get out of hand, please knock me up the side of the head. You know, and I think everybody needs it. Everybody who claims to be a believer, but especially people that are entertainers, people are continually lifting you up all the time. It's very tempting because you start believing it, you know. And like I said, it's not an option.